Hey, it's Kurt Runger from Attorney Mentors, and I wanted to hop on Facebook Live with y'all this afternoon and tell you about some of the cool and exciting stuff that we got going on at Attorney Mentors for the fall of 2017 and into the 2018 year. But before I do that, I wanted to give you, those of you who don't know me, a little bit of background info about me. My name is Kurt Runger. I am the managing member of a small law firm of 4 lawyers in Memphis, Tennessee, and we focus on bankruptcy, criminal defense, divorce, personal injury, and probate matters. I graduated law school from the University of Memphis in May of 2003 and sat for the July 2003 Tennessee bar exam. I want to tell you a little story about something that happened to me last week that got me thinking. I was sitting in a divorce mediation. It was just a terrible situation. I mean, the parties can't agree on anything. And just sitting there, I was like 4 or 5 hours into this mediation. And I looked down at my phone and I got a text from my beautiful mother, and it said, "Congratulations on passing the bar exam on this day 14 years ago." And it really got me thinking back to the day that I found out that I actually passed the bar exam. I was at my parents' house in Knoxville, Tennessee. And when I found out I passed, I was totally elated. I mean, I was just overcome with emotion and super excited that everything I had worked for the past 3 years was worth it and come to fruition, and I was going to be a licensed attorney. But quickly after that initial rush of excitement concluded and finished up, I started freaking out, thinking, what am I going to do now that I'm a licensed attorney? I had been on a couple of interviews prior to finding out that I passed the bar at some small firms in Nashville and Knoxville and even Memphis. And I didn't really like the vibe that I got from any of those interviews for whatever reason, because I didn't like the person that I thought that would be, my superior to. I didn't feel like I was going to get paid what I expected to get paid. So when I found out I passed the bar exam, I didn't have a job. And shortly after I found out I passed, I went on a couple more interviews, and this was in October of 2003. I went on a couple more interviews and still kind of the same thing. I wasn't the best law student per se. I was around the middle of the class, but I certainly wasn't in the top 10% of the class and didn't have all of the bells and whistles like law review or anything like that on my resume, or any great type of internships that would make me an attractive candidate to some of the large and prestigious law firms. So I was basically somewhat limited in, my positioning for some of these jobs. So after going on a couple more interviews, I finally just decided, I think I'm just going to go out and go it alone and start my own solo law practice. But there were a lot of things I was really concerned about, because number one, I had never practiced law before in my life. And number two, I didn't know anything about running a business. So it took me a couple of months to really finally come to the decision, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out on my own and start my own solo law practice. So luckily, I was able to get in with a group of attorneys and share some office space with them. And fast forward 14 years to today, I am now the managing partner of a small firm in Memphis, Tennessee, and have established myself as being a successful attorney and have a great and thriving law practice. But over the past few years, I have been going around the courthouses, and I noticed that there are a lot of young, newly licensed attorneys who were sort of in the same position that I was in, and they weren't able to really find the type of place that they wanted to practice law for whatever their own personal reasons were. But I would notice these young attorneys sort of sledging around court, and I could tell that they weren't flourishing in their practice. I could tell that they really didn't know exactly what they needed to do to establish themselves as a successful attorney. And so it really bothered me because I could see the mistakes that these new attorneys were making, and I knew that they didn't have the type of mentorship and guidance and pedigree that they were going to need to take their law practices to the next level. So I started thinking about, well, what can I do to help these young attorneys? What can I do to serve them? What can I do? What experiences can I draw on? And what are some of the mistakes that I've made that I can draw on? And how can I serve these young attorneys and provide them and equip them with all the knowledge and skill set that they need to ensure that they will go out and thrive in their law practice? And so I decided to start Attorney Mentors, which is an online community of solo attorneys. And I started creating a bunch of training videos and training modules, and drawing on my 14 years of experience in practicing law. And practice is the key word, because like anything else, it's a work in progress. I mean, there are still things that I do today that are incorrect from time to time. So it's definitely a practice. But I created Attorney Mentors and discovered that that was going to be the way that I could serve these new attorneys and help them to successfully establish their own solo law practice. So we are currently accepting a handful of applicants for our 2017 and 2018 Attorney Mentors Mentorship Program. And I would invite anybody who is out there who may be unemployed after they found out they passed the bar, or maybe they've even been out in practice at a firm for a couple of years and they're just not happy or fulfilled in their practice and they want to go start their own solo law practice. Anyone who is considering starting their own solo law practice, I invite you to click on the link below, apply for the Attorney Mentors Mentorship Program, submit your application. I'll review it and I will get back to you. We'll set up a time to talk and we'll see if we can be a good fit for each other and work together going forward. So that being said, thank you for watching. And please, if you know anybody who's in this situation, there are a lot of people out there, frankly, who they might even feel defeated because they aren't employed at the time that they find out they passed the bar exam. And that is a total normal feeling. There are so many more people out there in today's climate that are unemployed at the time they find out they passed the bar than you would even imagine. So anybody that you know who thinks that they are going to start a solo law practice or is interested in doing it, please, I invite them to click on the link below and apply for the Attorney Mentorship Program, set up a call with me, and we will see if we can work together. Thanks.